What is up, YouTube? Season 10, Withering Fist. This is such a fun build. Oh my god. So, was planning to do a Touch of Death build, but does have a lot to come online. So, I've been playing this since level 60, and I've just been having so much fun. This thing's just been, it's been scaling in me most of the time. And like, I think like the evade build's pretty fast. This can like, I mean, it's pretty fast in dungeons, I'd say. I think you can keep up. If you're running behind, like right now, like you can see I'm pretty slow. But you can just like dash ahead, just kind of like shred. And yeah, this is just cruising. So this is like already in tier 4. And yeah, I'm already hitting like some hits like with Noxious Resonance, like into the billions. And it's honestly just like so much fun to play. Mainly because you just get to jump, kind of like I was saying with Shred. You just like jump to the next pack, jump to the next pack, and yeah, with like the new Heshay's gloves, like getting the gorilla to like just line everything up for you and pull it all together. It's like a dream. So the more units we can pull together, do more damage with like Noxious Resonance, just like how it scales with like AoE, just like critting off onto everything else. But single target damage was buffed, so now Noxious Resonance does 300% of all your poisoning damage straight away. And the fact that we can like put it at range as well, so like you just like do it like up ahead in front of you and then you're just already there. And like, I know this isn't probably as fast as like the evade build that you see like most people playing, but if you want to try something different, or if you just like the poison builds in general, this thing is so much fun. And you really don't need much to come online. Kind of like the evade build, like it just kind of just scales like as you go. There are definitely some items that will help along the way and some runes. But mostly like it's just really awesome. Just been having so much fun. I was initially planning to move to like a Touch of Death build, but it requires like a fair bit of Chaos Uniques to come online, so this is what I've been doing just to like cruise through. And yeah, as you can see, like this thing is just absolutely smashing. Like 2 days into the season, just cruiseville. I don't even have like all my glyphs yet. When I say all my glyphs, I think I've just got one to go, and then set for all my glyphs. My Paragon board's pretty bare, and my gear is still pretty suboptimal. Like, I'm running the Sepen Zentech, but it's just like a 750, not even have a GA or anything. And yeah, there's definitely a lot more items I can get to make this even better. But you can see like it's really fast. So it would have been nicer if I actually used the gorilla ulti on the boss set, but I mean you can still see this thing is just absolutely smashing. So let me quickly go over the builds with you. So this is Withering Fist build. Withering Fist is just the basic, and it's also a mobility skill, which is awesome for Eagle skill passives. Most of the damage is done in the dot, so it applies 24,000 damage, and then it applies 349,000 damage over 6 seconds. I mean, I have 18 ranks in it, but it does 349,000 over 6 seconds, and then we're basically bursting that straight away. for my build. So initially when you're running this, like if you've just hit level 60, the first thing you probably want to get is Harmony of Everwalker. Harmony of Everwalker is really good for this build because then we can just combine our Spirit Halls and we can get like a lot of passives. But outside of that, you can see like I don't have any Uber Mythics. I do have some Chaos Uniques, which I'll go through. But the main thing to note is you want to get barrier generation up to 123%. So I do have barrier generation on this item. Otherwise, I think this I have vortex size. So you want to get 100% vortex size. So probably 2 items. And then another item, I've got a temper for Withering Fist size. But you want to get vortex size first for the tempers. So for the runes, Earthen Bulwark is really, really helpful. Once I got this, I was a lot more tankier, especially going into tier 4, and it really helps a lot. For the rune, you do want to use Money. Money is awesome because you need to cast 2 mobility or Macabre skills, and Withering Fist is a mobility skill. So we just spam this and we get it straight away. I was pretty fortunate to get a Heshe's Chaos Unique, but this is generally a glove. So if you can just pick this up on your glove slot, definitely get the Heshe's straight away. Because we get Gorilla Skills, so we just get +9, which is awesome. And then we get 60%, up to a 60% multi with your Gorilla Skills, and this is doubled if they're knocked down or a boss, and they're pretty much knocked down all the time. And yeah, the bosses is awesome upgrade to have. So get this as soon as you can for your gloves, and that will make it a lot more tankier. So at the moment I'm running Sepen Zentek for the weapon, and then so I'm running Moonrise on my gloves. But before you can get Sepen Zentek, because you might just be leveling up, get Moonrise on your weapon, and then get the temper of chance for Withering Fist to deal double damage. It's probably the best. Centipede damage, that's just a bad temper. But you probably want to get vulnerable or basic damage, depending on how you're going in your leveling and like what you've got a roll of for your tempers. So early on, yeah, just get aspect of the Moonrise, and then you probably want to have Heshe's gloves here. For the legs, if you can get Withering Fist, that is awesome. If not, basic skills as well would be good. And just make sure you have enough armor as you're going on. So I need to get armor for Torment 4. I've got a little bit over now, but I'm just working in between some items. For the aspect, so you gain resolve for each 25 vigor while at max. This can overfill your resolve by 5. So basically we're getting resolve all the time from just maxing out our vigor because it's a basic skill. And then on top of that, we're getting 5. So we're getting 13 stacks of resolve, and this is going hand in hand with our Paragon board for Colossal. So you get 2% increase for each stack of resolve. So that's up to 26%, and we've nearly got it all up all the time. So it's just constant 26%. So it's probably the biggest glyph you've got, and especially while you don't have Chaos Uniques, this is really nice to have for a damage increase. For my boots, so you would get Harmony of Everwalker for your helm. That is what I was rocking most of the time. But I was fortunate enough to get a Chaos Unique, so I'm using that. It does make me a lot slower, as you can see when I'm just running. But most of the time you don't want to run, you're just jumping between packs, so you just fast all the time. And then for your boots, I would definitely get this. I just put it on accidentally, and it was actually awesome. So while you're below 58%, which we are from the seasonal pal, which I'll go over later, then all your evades freeze. And when they freeze, this goes hand in hand with this aspect of you deal up to 20% increased damage over time to enemies for each different crowd control effect they're afflicted by. And all our damage is damage over time. So when we hit them with Withering Fist, we're slowing them. So they're slowed, they'll be frozen, and then you also be knocking them down with your Paragon board later with your Gorilla skills and making them vulnerable. So you can have up to a 60x multi for your damage over time, and all our damage is damage over time. So this aspect is awesome for this build. And then unstoppable enemies and staggered bosses take 40% increased damage over time, which is awesome for the boss. Um, so yeah, that goes hand in hand with these boots. Yeah, which is really good. For the weapon, I'm using Sepp and Zentek. Hopefully, I can get this as a Chaos Unique. In the helm at the moment would be good. Or even gloves I'd take. Legs, I mean, I'm getting some stats from Withering Fist, but I'd still take that any day. Once you do get Sepp and Zentek, then depending on how you roll with the chance for basic skills still double damage, it can't go over 100%, I'm pretty sure, for chance for Withering Fist to deal double damage and chance for basic skills to deal double damage. So instead for the temper here, if you get a GA on chance for basic skills to deal double damage and you can get it up like nearly 80-90%, I would instead get the temper for Ravenous stacks. That'd be a lot better on your weapon. Otherwise, early on, just get chance for Withering Fist to deal double damage. So yeah, that's really good. So Sep and Sentex, just awesome. Basic skills get up to 120% X damage, which is awesome. And then they always use their third attack. And every third cast of basic skill strikes 3 times. So we're doing like 3 hits out in front of us. So you can hit the first unit, and even if they're not all in front of you, you'll just be hitting like everything. And then everything will just be split up from Withering Fists. So Withering Fist third attack spreads poisoning to 5 nearby unaffected enemies. Hitting vulnerable enemy will also spread that effect. So when your Noxious Resonance goes off, you're blowing all of it up, and then you're like reapplying it back to everything. And you've got three separate hits, so you can have like up to 15 affected units, and you're just like spreading this constantly, just doing massive damage. So it's awesome. So the ring here, I've got the GN resist to all elements because you'll probably need some resist along the way for sure. And the next aspect is conceded. This is just a straight 27x value of barrier, and we always have a barrier. So yeah. And the last aspect is adaptability. So our basic skills generate 5 additional primary resource once per skill. So I mean, this is just nice to go hand in hand with getting resolve stacks, but you'll be getting heaps of resolve anyways. But mainly basic skills do up to 0.9% increased damage for each point of primary resource you have, up to 500. So it's probably just our biggest multiplier that we can get. Especially on, you can just get it on jewelry, so you can't use this on the weapon. So that's good. And as I said with the tempers, I've got up to 100%. I think you can only go up to 100% on size, I'm pretty sure, for all skills, but correct me if I'm wrong. So that's why I went for Withering Fist size, but honestly, you could use maybe Barrier Generation if you need Barrier Generation, or maybe like some Lucky Hit. It's not too important, but Withering Fist just seems pretty nice to have. And make sure you get on one of your stats to get a chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. We definitely want to get that because our Eagle Ball will give us 20x on vulnerable damage, so we want to make everything vulnerable, and we also want to make everything vulnerable, so Withering first attack, hitting a vulnerable enemy will also spread to all hits, so vulnerable is pretty important. And yeah, Spirit Halls, we got Gorilla, we want to get the barrier up, and we just want to be tanky, and it also goes hand in hand with Viscous Shield on the Paragon node, and then we want to get Eagle for some passives, which I'll go through now. So yeah, max out Withering Fist. We want to max out Follow Through. Basic damage do multiplicative up to, what is it? Yeah, 36. Yeah, that's awesome. And every cast is our 3rd cast, so like it's huge. Vortex, and then I'm running Replenishing Vortex, Critical Strikes with Vortex, reduce cooldown by 1 second, just so we can get it up quicker. We want to get Apex maxed out. If you need more points for lucky hit chance, if you have a polearm, this can be another good way to get some vulnerable. And then also over here, Mirage, and then we want to max out Unrestrained Power. Ravager, we want to get this so we can get some Jaguar potent passive, which we'll go through later. And then we also increase our Ferocity, which is good for attack speed. And we also get some healing, as Withering Fist doesn't really offer any healing. I've got 3 points in Perseverance because we're maxing out on Resolve stacks, so this is just really good for damage reduction. Scourge, I'm running Scourge just so we get multiplicative versus crowd control and everything's crowd controlled. And adaptability so we can get some more healing because yeah, we just need some healing, which is pretty nice. And then max out nourishment for another multiplier. We want to get dominant. We'll be knocking down pretty much anything within 10 seconds all the time. So this is just a nice 15x multiplier. Because we got the Eagle Hall, we definitely want to get brilliance. My movement speed's a bit low at the moment because I got the Harmony Vet Walker boots, but otherwise, yeah, it's still nice to have. And then acceleration is really good. So you gain 1 additional evade charge, which is nice. But after you use evade or a mobility skill, your eagle skills deal 24x damage for 3 seconds. And Withering is a mobility skill, so we'll have this up all the time. So acceleration is really nice to have. Potent, we'll be getting that from Ravager, and that's just like one of the best passives you can get in the game. If you can get that on your amulet, definitely take that. And then max out Ravenous and Oppressive. If you do get the Seppen Zentech Chaos Unique on something, then when you run, yeah, your weapon, as I was saying, try and get the ranks to Ravenous if you can. It's probably one of the best passives you can get. I've maxed out the Protector so we can lower the cooldown. We don't really care too much about this. Yeah, it does additional damage, but it's not really too much in the scheme of things. But we want to get Exalted Protector. So 1, you get 6 more seconds. While it's nearby, you're unstoppable and deal 30% multiplicative increased damage. So we get the 30x damage. We also get the unstoppable for unrestrained power. And then it's just up like nearly all the time. So I do have initiative. Maybe I should actually take this out. You could probably go into intricacy. And then, yeah, just max out supremacy and max out resolution for just more multiplicative damage from the ultimate skills. And lastly, Noxious Resonance. So this was buff for Season 10. So now doing 300% damage. It used to be 20% to surrounding enemies. Now it's 10%, but they doubled the single target damage and then half the AoE. So it equals about the same when you're doing like the burst damage. But for boss fights, it makes it a lot better because we're at least doing way better single target damage now. For the Paragon board, I'll put this on the build site. So mine is really messy at the moment. But what I did was all the legendary nodes got buffed to the tits this season. I mean, like they were all doubled. I think they were just all doubled, every single one. So what I did was once you get the first glyph, and I went Colossal because I think that's the best glyph we can have. We can get like the most multiplier out of it for sure. Is then just go next board, and you can just like figure it out yourself, whichever one you really want to get. But just go straight for the legendary node, then just go straight to the next board, get the next legendary node. So you can see I just went up here, I went straight here, and then I went straight to here, and then I went straight to here, Fiscus Shields, and then like I would have skipped this initially and then come back and get Convergence. So you want to get these up straight away because they're going to give us way bigger multipliers than the glyph scan. And that'll just really help with your damage initially and then like ramping up. And then once you get that, then go back and then start getting your glyphs, which is what I'm doing now. Like I don't even have this glyph yet, so I've still got a long way to go. I've still got a long way that I can push this. There's still so many things in the Paragon node that like I would want to get. But I just haven't because like it's still early days, even though like yeah, 189 Paragon level. Obviously you probably want to get like 220, I think, till you're pretty comfortable. You got everything that you want. Mercenaries. So initially I'd run Subo if you're like leveling up just for the map hacks. Otherwise later when you're pushing, I get Ra here just because I want the 15% resist. That's basically the only reason. And then like we do get a 15% X damage, which is nice, but mainly for the resist. If you do run Aspect of Unyielding hits, then you probably want to get the 15% armor. That will really help you as well. Sorry, and I'm running Variana just for 10% attack speed. But yeah, it's not too important. For the seasonal powers, so accelerating, I'm not really too concerned about the chaotic burst, but what you do want is the 0.5 seconds on a random active cooldown. This will just help in general for all your cooldowns. Alacrity is really good. You'll get this pretty early on. And then once you get this, you can just start using Withering Fist and just like smashing everything. You get 30% attack speed, which is awesome. The dash range is increased, so we're just like jumping to packs really quickly. And every third attack now happens every second attack. So before you have 7% attack, every second hit is a third hit now, which is awesome. And then lastly, we're running Marred Guard, which goes into a Beast Cornered. So we're getting 20% X for every 10% life. So we're getting 100 X because we're sitting at 50% all the time from Marred Guard. And the main thing is that we get 100% increased barrier. So that's where most of my barrier generation is coming from. So you want to make sure you hit 123% on your barrier generation. Sorry, where is it? Yeah, you want to hit 123%. So you can see I've got a little bit over. But yeah, just make sure you hit that. Once you hit that, then get the vortex size tempers. But otherwise, before that, get some barrier generation if you need it on the tempers. Especially if you don't have Marred Guard yet as well. Just early on, maybe get that. Before you get a Beast Corn as well, I think this was one of the last ones I got. I was running a bit of Convocation of Spirits, which is pretty nice. So this uses like one random ultimate, and it benefits from all the upgrades. So if the Protector goes down, you have like the Heshes, you'll get all the bonuses from it, which is awesome. And then also if you're running heaps of poison, so let's say you get the Devourer, and enemies affected by toxic globs also take 100% increased poison damage. So you could have this going up, you get another 100x on your damage, and then you have the Protector. You can run the Protector on it as well. So I did see, I thought Convocation of Spirit was going to be pretty useless initially. And it's not very, I mean, it's pretty random, but you can see like some huge damage. Like the biggest numbers I saw was on Convocation of Spirits, but a Beast Corn is just way better. Like just getting flat 100, which is nice. And yeah, that's about it. I'll link my guide. That will be a bit more thorough and have everything up to date. The Paragon node, as I said, I suggest you just go straight for the legendary nodes and just figure out which ones you want to do. You can just make it up as you go. Doesn't really matter. It's pretty straightforward just to go straight for legendary nodes. After you do that and everything's preset, then just reset it and then just copy the build online. And yeah, that's about it from me, guys. I'll see how we go later in the season. Initially, I was going to run a Touch of Death build, which I'll still try and get up, but you need like a lot of Chaos Uniques to get up and running. It'll probably be like the strongest build of the season, but it just has like a big markup to get into it. You need like a lot of Chaos Uniques, and so yeah, we'll just see how we go. The other thing I forgot to mention is Pengorge's Gauntlets. This can be really good. It does nothing on the boss, but on AoE trash packs, like you saw how much I was blowing up the trash packs. This just does even more, like another 100x, and it's all spread out. And then your Noxious Resonance blows up everything and does like a big echo, and does like 10% of that. So this is another option you can also run. But yeah, as soon as you get to 60, try and get Harmony of Ebwalker. That's probably the best thing you can do for the builds. And then once you got that, you're pretty cruising. Otherwise, even before while you're leveling, it's pretty cruisy with the seasonal power with Alacrity. So yeah, enjoy, guys. If you have any questions, yeah, just let me know. Cheers.